Welcome to the Wake Up with Jim and Saab podcast.
Yeah. Today, we have the resident pod ate. She is back with a vengeance. Ate Mia is back.
Woohoo!
And we're gonna do a deep dive on Hamilton. And Ate Mia, just to let the pod kids know, why did we get you?
Why do you think we got you?
Apart from nepotism, I think I think it also obviously because I've had a serious kind of love affair with musicals since I was maybe 5 years old. And that started with your usual Sound of Music, Disney movies, Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast. And then it got really deep and oftentimes a little sad, especially in my teens. In my teens, and now at the ripe age of 30, mid 30s, I am still deeply committed to the art of musicals. So maybe that's why.
One thing that Ate Mia has always corrected me with much snark. I always say kasi like, uy, Broadway ba yun? Ganon.
Oh.
And mali yun. Diba?
Is that the wrong term for it?
Yeah, parang I categorized musicals as Broadway. Diba? And Ate Mia?
Yeah, I mean, no, I think that was just me being like a royal
Bitch.
That's the word for it. Yeah, no, because obviously Broadway is, that the Great White Way, which is what it's called in New York. But
Jim's making a face right now.
shut up.
No, I love it. Go.
But musical theater obviously developed and grew and flourished, not just in the Great White Way or in Broadway, but in the West End, CCP, on TV, in movies. So just to say Broadway, maybe it's like where it probably began and took shape, but not all musicals are Broadway.
Who is your favorite?
Mine is Stephen Sondheim. And I think that started with West Side Story, which I think a lot of people have probably seen that movie. But that was him as a lyricist. And then since then he's evolved into doing both lyrics and music. And he's most well known for Into the Woods, Company, which I think you saw in A Marriage Story, right? Like that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the one. And that's what you said that's your one of your favorites, diba?
Yes, one of my all-time favorites.
The Adam Driver song. Tama.
Yeah,
The Adam Driver.
How do you feel about Ansel Elgort starring in West Side Story?
I have zero feel. I know you guys hate him for some reason.
We don't
Well,
hate
he's a
him.
rapist.
Oh yeah, okay. So I glossed over those headlines. Pero ano kayong nangyari? I don't know what the story.
Let's not talk about
He
it. Let's,
rapist siya. Yan.
It's the
Oh, okay. He's one of
He's one of those.
He's one of those guys. I always confuse him with the guy from the English.
Superbad.
Michael Cera. Layo.
Sino?
The guy from shit. I sound like such a tita. The movie with the English spies with Colin Firth.
Oh,
Orgot.
hindi,
Irvan Orgot.
Rocketman.
Taron Ergot.
Taron Engot. Uy, hindi, I love him. Taron Egort. Yung pangalan niya?
Taron Eggert.
Eckhart.
Hindi. I love that guy too.
Taron Eggort.
Anyway.
Eggort.
So, Steven Sondheim, diba? And naalala ko lang, I just remember when we were kids, you and Cello would always watch this DVD ba o VHS pa yun? Yung Into the Woods.
Yeah, parang a live recording of the original Broadway cast production of Into the Woods.
And they'd have a bunch of these tapes and DVDs. And then there was a time na they were downloading torrents pa. Remember that? Yeah? Diba you did that?
Yeah, it's a LimeWire.
Yun, audio. They
Audio
would listen to
only.
pirated audio. Kaya parang way before, I think grade 7 ako or something, you guys were singing Defying Gravity.
Maybe, yeah. I think
Did you say define gravity?
No, I said Defying.
defining gravity.
Yeah, so okay, and then so Stephen Sondheim and ano pa? Like what were the best musicals you've seen live?
I think maybe recently, obviously, like Wicked is always going to be at the top, right? Like that's like a seminal experience. I think I've watched it 3 times. Sobrang kaya, like different productions. So obviously that fueled the obsession. But I mean, I think there's just so many. There's like Avenue Q. There's Follies. There's in the Heights, which is the Lin-Manuel Miranda.
You saw it pala.
You saw that?
Yeah.
Were you living in New York? But I went in the States nun.
I had just moved to Boston, and then my friend and I took a bus, like a $20 bus, to watch that. As in, we literally like lined up on the day itself. We got discounted tickets on the side of the stage with an obstructed view, so you could just see half of Lin-Manuel.
Oh
Wow, so you saw him mismo.
Yeah, it was quite a while ago.
Cool.
Wow.
Well, okay, that just cements why we got you, Ate Mia. You know, as a theater actress, I mean, I did. Oh, you can't hear me?
Okay, I can hear you now.
Okay, sorry. I don't know where I was going with that. Let's talk about the latest craze. I think this has been going on for a few years now. I saw a lot of reactions from my peers. Hindi ko rin gets kung paano nila napanood yung Hamilton because the tickets are so hard to get by now. And but I guess they were doing the same thing that you were doing. Listening to the songs. And
diba just a few years ago, we tried getting tickets.
No,
a few
impossible.
Years ago.
Yeah.
2016? When you tried, how much were the tickets and may available ba?
Meron, but my last trip to New York was like just 2 years ago, and it was like $700.
Wow.
It's 35K.
Yeah.
Wow,
around
my
that.
God.
Yeah,
Well, you know what? Ganun yung price dito, diba? Kung manood ka ng Britney Spears. Diba?
or like like Beyonce. Ganyan, it's actually that much, right?
Well, anyway. So, siguro how we can do this deep dive is we start with Lin-Manuel first. Okay? Because he is basically the mind, the brains behind this whole thing. So, ano siya, Ate Mia? Like, when I messaged you nga na we were gonna do a deep dive, I wanted you to give comparisons for, kasi yun nga, again, I am not as well versed as you in musicals. So, Lin-Manuel was, what is he? Like, he was like parang the Dennis Villeneuve of musicals.
Sorry. Grabe yung reference.
Why?
I believe it's Denny.
Wait, no. He was like it was like
Newcomer?
an indie boy.
No,
Ganun
you
ba?
know who I would compare him to use your fucking pretentious language. I would compare him to a Quentin Tarantino because he is the king of pastiche. He is the biggest fanboy of all musicals.
Mhm.
Kaya if you do a Google search and you find kunwari, he has all these videos with everyone, all of my heroes, from Patti LuPone to Lea Salonga, because he grew up really like super in love with musicals. And his number one idol, and he has talked about it so much, is Stephen Sondheim. So he's the ultimate fanboy, and you can see it in his work because he not only uses his own personal flavor, right? Like the Latin music, the hip hop, the R&B, but he takes from a lot of the classical forms, whether it's like jazz musicals or the Stephen Sondheim stuff, even the Andrew Lloyd Webber. He's just super passionate. So like he's brimming with passion for all these traditional musical forms. And just like Tarantino, what he does, he is inspired by them, then picks them apart. Diba?
Ganda.
Yes, yes.
So Tarantino is a big fan of B movies.
Correct.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true. So his
Parang
medyo may
West-
ano pa nga.
Kumbaga, ano talaga siya. Si Tarantino is, tama, he gets from B movies, westerns, Japanese culture, and then he makes it his own thing.
Yeah.
So, yung In the Heights, that was his, kasi ako from yung deep dive namin ni Saab, he was a cashier, diba? Parang, and he was a struggling actor. Ah, by the way, yun pala, I was watching The Sopranos the other night. Tapos literally, Tony Soprano goes to a valet guy and says, hey, watch my car, will you? And then, si senor.
It's Lin-Manuel. Wow.
So
he
right
had an
after I
extra role.
googled, was Lin-Manuel in The Sopranos? Yes, it was him. As in 2-second part.
Cute.
So anyway, ganun. I mean, he was
He paid his dues.
parang he was a struggling actor talaga, diba?
So,
I think so.
And then, so In the Heights, kumaboom. Now
He wrote that for his thesis, right? Or something in school?
That I don't know, but
Yes. So he wrote it for school, and then they were doing it for yun nga, for their school play, and then napunta siya sa off-Broadway. Off-Broadway, diba? Is that where you watched it?
Yes. Yeah. So
no, I watched it on Broadway, but I think they went through like a kind of a long workshop phase, right? They trial it first in a smaller theater, and then it got picked up so that it played on the big stage.
I think it was some sort of autobiographical thing. The lead girl's name was Vanessa.
was it? And
Which is the name of
apparently,
his wife.
Yes. It's so cute. And they weren't together. They weren't married yet when he made that play.
and ex niya, Pilipina.
Yeah, kaya in the video with Leia, diba?
Yeah.
He has like a Tagalog song
he's
with Leia.
isang Tagalog.
Yeah, it's very cool.
So, okay.
Pinoy pride.
Labo. Ex ni Lin-Manuel.
So, okay. He so kumaboom yung In the Heights, diba? 6 years, and then actually, honestly, the only knowledge I had of Lin-Manuel was, yun nga, I told you that I found it annoying because I didn't really know
Understand
where he was
him
coming
pa.
from. Like, it was the Oscars, ba?
Mm-hmm.
And it was Moana before.
When he introduced Moana.
And then like he did a rap, and I was like, who is this guy? Parang why is he rapping? Wala namang rap masyado.
He was setting the stage for the performance of Moana's How Far I'll Go.
Yeah, and apparently when he did Moana pala, he wasn't Hamilton wasn't as big pa.
Yes.
So they got him on the
Yes.
cheap.
When he got signed for Moana, Hamilton wasn't a thing yet. Or parang it was just in production pa lang. So
Yeah,
So-
but he was already quite big though. Like, cause In the Heights, can you imagine? That's his freshman musical, and he got a Best Musical Tony. That's like
Grabe.
almost unheard of. Like,
Ah,
you know what I
really?
mean? Yeah, because it really was super revolutionary in that it incorporated the hip hop Latin flavor in a very organic way, and again autobiographical. And it was released during a time when obviously immigrant rights were like super a hot topic in America, and they continue to be. So parang you take all those elements, and he beat out some really big titles. I forget which ones, but he won like Best Musical.
Wow.
Everyone was like crying at the Tonys because obviously he's like,
Wow.
he did Bring It On the musical. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh, he
Ah.
did that.
Yeah, which was critically lauded, but also did not do well ticket sales wise. And then he had a brief project with his idol Stephen Sondheim. Like Stephen Sondheim asked him to do the Spanish lyrics of West Side Story. They were doing a new production.
Oh.
So he had to write the Spanish lyrics of West Side Story and got to work with the Stephen Sondheim. And then Moana. So in many ways, parang
Wow.
Ah, okay.
already like big, but not like Hamilton big. I think Hamilton big is like
Grabe. He's just one of those.
pang level.
he's a genius. He's a genius. He won a Pulitzer for In the Heights, right?
Oh my god, did he? I didn't even
Yes,
know that.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, in his GQ, which I watched, the GQ questions, top most search questions about
Lin-Manuel.
Lin-Manuel, and yun, parang tinanong siya, do you have an EGOT? So he has
An EGOT
he has an
is
Emmy,
an
he has a for the pod kids, is it Emmy? It's a
Grammy,
Grammy?
Oscar, Tony.
Yeah. He has all except an Oscar, but he has a Pulitzer and something.
Yeah.
Whatever. So, okay.
So
Let's get down to business, as Han said.
huh?
Diba? Let's get down to business.
Han
And defeat the Hans.
the Hans.
I think
Lin ba yung name niya?
Lin.
Lin Manuel.
Ah.
There it is. There's the
Awesome.
connection.
As another Lin said, let's get down to business.
Okay, let's start with plot.
So he was just randomly he picked up this book called Alexander Hamilton, or is it Hamilton? Hamilton lang. And then he just thought of it na wala. He thought that the best way to do a musical for this would be hip hop.
Because
He's a writer.
He's a writer, he was an immigrant.
Yeah.
And this is how I received it. Okay, so for me, like the hardest part of musicals, and I've told you this, Mia, it's like it's so hard to parang I nakakatawa na I'm a songwriter, pero pagdating sa musicals, I don't know why I can't keep up with the narration or the narrative. Like I miss certain things that are being sung. Gets mo? Parang kung ano, like I'm gonna get bread and then I'm gonna kill your father. Parang parang sometimes
That's a musical right there.
Sometimes
That's what they
it,
miss.
sometimes it requires na makikita ko na, oh, pinapatay na, whoa. Pero he actually sang about that, a few minutes ago. But surprisingly dito, well, aside from the fact that it's hip hop and it's rap, I nakasabay ako, and I really, I guess that's how naman I usually base my enjoyment in a musical is if nasasakyan ko if the story, I mean at the end of the day, kung ano man yung music, kung ano man yung if the story isn't good, diba, it's gonna suck.
Yeah.
So for me, definitely, it was moving, it was powerful, and I just loved all the character arcs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I know we're talking about plot, but I wonder if you were able to follow it because it's a recorded version and not a live performance.
Mm.
Because a part of me I feel that way too, and I think that's why I love this art form, because there are multiple ways to enjoy it. You enjoy it like as a performance. So sometimes, diba, when you're watching a play, you don't know what to focus on.
Yeah.
It's like so many things happening, and some people will focus on the choreography, some people will focus on the acting. Like in your case, it's about story or lyrics. So a part of me feels sometimes that that's your theater experience is like the overall impact of all those amazing things coming
Yeah.
together.
Mm.
But with Hamilton, because you got close-ups, you got to see their mouths, you had perfect audio, no one like fucking, like singing along under their breath beside you. You know what I mean? In the audience, like if you watch, you really can focus on the material and take it in. So I'm wondering if maybe that's that, or do you?
Well,
Yeah.
I actually wanted to say nga rin na, I still remember you telling me like when the Phantom of the Opera movie came out and you were like super duper bashing it. Kasi the point, sabi mo nga, parang what's the point of elevating or translating it into a movie if you're not gonna do anything different? Diba? Parang, for example, I remember, that's all I ask of you. And then, pero si Joel Schumacher is like, the shot is like, is still. It's not like, boom! Alam mo yun, parang, so, kaya in
Ang ganda ng
fairness,
pagdirect nitong movie version of Hamilton. If I'm not mistaken, they shot 2 live performances, and on the third, parang the third shot was third shot was they did it in front of no audience so they could get the close-ups and stuff.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
kaya
I did
pala.
my research.
Kaya nga nagtataka ko yung may mga close-up.
Prepared.
Parang,
Aren't they bothered? Pero what I was gonna say then is I feel like it's a completely new, like you said, yeah, it's like it feels like a new piece of art.
Sobra.
Na it was like dynamic and immersive and it felt like a movie, but it had the immersive experience of being there. Like I still had the nerves of, will someone fuck up? Parang ganon.
Yeah.
But at the same time, just so in it and in it deep.
And I love actually, sorry, we were talking about plot, but then I'm gonna go ahead and jump to set design, because as you saw, the stage was turning like a turntable, and it was a hip hop.
Thing.
Oh, I never thought of it that way.
Yeah,
That's so
that-
cool.
Well researched.
Hindi ko na-research yun, ah. Yeah, that's how
Sarili mo yun?
That's my
Galing.
insight. Oh, kainis. Ano ko, bobo? Shock.
Whoa.
Charot.
What?
Okay.
I don't understand.
No,
Ganda
but
though, ganda.
But yun yung the first time that it was moving around, because it was just spinning in circles, sometimes counterclockwise, sometimes clockwise. But actually, I think from what I researched, it was also a representation of time. Like sometimes it would back up, parang basta may rewind stuff. May mga ganong levels.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I thought it was really well thought out.
I'm getting chills. That's a really great. That's really a great insight. And again, it kind of speaks to that whole thing that there are just so many layers to unpack, because I don't know if you saw that video in the Kennedy Honors by yung parang where they feature the entire creative team behind this, where you had obviously Lynn, but then he collaborated with like an amazing choreographer, and then the director and the musical director, where everyone had this something to make every element kind of even better. So for me, like that stage design, like you could easily have just like put all of like, imagine if you're a really basic dude, just take the book of Hamilton and then like have them just on a linear stage.
Yeah.
And then the dancers come in and out. But that kind of like innovation is just,
Yeah.
And then someone in the audience will see that and fall in love with it, like you did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was great. And uh anything else you want to add about the plot?
Well, wala pa naman tayong... Okay, so...
Now that it's available for people who can't go to Broadway, and because of social media, I think it some people have attempted to cancel it. Have you seen that? Parang it's revisionist or something. Parang it's not historically accurate. But for me, it was based on a book, right? Not that.
Well, it's
parang
a fucking
not,
play.
I mean, it's
Parang...
it's getting kids to love history.
I
right?
wanted to read about the forefathers.
Yeah.
I don't care about America, but I want to read about the forefathers.
Apparently, parang sobrang na-boost yung sales of that book that this was based on when it came out.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Well,
Very interesting.
I think all that criticism, honestly, is really because the key issue there is that right now it's the height of the Black rights and Black Lives Movement issues in the States, and then how this is a very specific part in history where slavery was,
Yes.
I guess, sort of so common and almost celebrated during that time, but the play barely touches it. Like there are a couple of references, and apparently like Thomas Jefferson was like a huge slave owner and like screwed a lot of Black women and had all these illegitimate children. Mga ganyan. Like,
meron siyang slave na 14-year-old who is the mother of a lot of his kids.
what the
Yeah, may mga ganun in history. And also, I think from what I read, apparently, kasi from what I got from the play, na Alexander Hamilton was really like wanting to end slavery. Is that what you got also, guys?
Well, I
Parang
didn't get
that was one of his, yun yung na he was really like, parang slavery, blah, blah.
Hindi yun lumabas dun sa musical.
I got it from the musical.
Really?
Yeah, he has it in some of his songs. Towards the end, lalo na when he was fighting for these things. Pero yun nga, apparently, historically, parang it was one of his, parang na-mention niya, but he wasn't super fighting for it. But for ako, from when I watched it, I thought that he was really like fighting for it. But I guess, I don't know. Well, that's what people are saying now.
Oh man, that completely ruins it for me. Kasi
Really?
kasi parang dude, hindi ba you're an immigrant? Like hindi ba yun sana yung mas pressing matter than well, okay, sige, why? What were you gonna say?
It's very interesting in that these are mostly white people, white characters that they're playing, but they were mostly played by people of color. But yun nga, some people are saying that's not enough. But I feel like, I think, you're not gonna please everyone. You can't make a song, Jim, that will save everyone and everything and mention all of the problems of the world in one song. Is it your duty to do that, ba? Is it? I don't know. I'm just asking these questions,
No, I think they're fair questions, and even Lin-Manuel, right? Like recently, in response to those criticisms, was like totally fair. Like I wrote this how many years ago? Obviously, my focus was different. Siguro daw, if he wrote it now, that's sort of the pressing issue or the things that he would want to shed light on.
Yeah.
But I think he probably took his cues from the biography, right?
Yeah.
It was a certain slice of history. How can you cover all aspects of that history? Parang imposible talaga.
Yeah. And it was already almost 3 hours long.
Correct. It's like, imagine you do like a World War II movie, and then people are going to say, how come you didn't feature the comfort women? How come you didn't feature these people? How come there are just so many aspects to that. But I understand. Obviously, people are expecting a lot more from pieces of art. I think it's a little unfair, obviously, because not art can't solve everything. But
And also, I think in his defense, the story, it depends naman on the story that he was trying to tell. So therefore, which leads me to themes. Okay, so diba?
Yes.
So the theme that that what I loved about the story is it was so tight with the theme throughout the whole play. Um yung the theme of what is my legacy. And I just feel like that theme of no, parang no success can match the ano ba the no success can match the peace and ano ba the peace and labo the peace of knowing that you are loved yun so and I'm such a sucker for those movies, diba? I'm such a sucker for like yung parang how evil and how the desire for success will destroy your soul ganon. And I just feel like I really like how it was spun and how the narrative you know made it so na parang it wasn't as simple as 1 plus 1 equals 2. Na parang, okay, here's the rising action, there's a climax, okay, he will realize that he needs his wife. It didn't even feel that way. What did you guys think?
Ademia?
Theme wise.
I think that's one layer to it. It's interesting because obviously even from the start of the play, right? How does a bastard orphan son of a whore? I think it's almost like where you come from determine where you are able to go. And I think he was super fighting against the destiny that he was born with because he was an bastard son of a whore, orphan. He had obviously zero chances of succeeding in the world of that time, and yet somehow became one of the most influential and impactful figures in American history. But I think what I loved about the play and how it tackled that is it didn't just list down like a CV of accomplishments. I mean, kind of building on what you said, that it was more about him finding that inner peace and that happiness with his wife, with the people he loves, but also a part of that part I love, but also part of me feels like that's sort of like a Disney spin. Because what if he a part of me wonders like, what if he just died and like was like, that was great and I love like a million women and I had affairs. I don't know, but if you look at it as a piece of art and as a piece of entertainment, I thought that was very nice and beautiful and had a nice sense of closure. Don't know.
Yeah.
Ako, from what I yung ending nga na nakuha ko was that the crucial role that the wife, si Eliza, played in this, na maybe nga Hamilton was actually, it's her. It's Eliza Hamilton. Because in the end, there would be no play, there would be no book, there would be nothing if she didn't share his story. Because she was saying, diba? She was saying, parang she would burn all the letters, I hate him forever. But then when, nagkaroon sila ng trials and she forgave him. And then, ang ending is, when he died, she lived on for 50 more years and all she did was share his story. And that's why, yun nga, yung legacy niya, ako kasi when I was watching the whole thing, I was like, gosh, this guy is such a narcissist. Like, why? But then also, parang, well, if he wasn't being this involved and just focusing on his family, baka rin hindi nagawa yung mga
Bill.
mga bill niya. Itong mga American bank na ano niya. But then, so yun, parang tama yung sinabi ni Jim na, yun nga, ano nga, aanin mo nga ang, what if he was able to accomplish these things? Pero, hindi rin naman na-tell yung real story niya if hindi siya hindi siya nagkaroon ng Disney ending nung wife niya.
Well, at the end of the day, he's still on the, is it the $20 bill? $10 bill. So I mean, I feel like his legacy is there. But I think what I like now, the more you guys speak, is parang it kind of reminds me of Mad Men. You know how Mad Men centers on Don Draper, his very troubled life and his journey finding himself and on shedding and shedding his past, etc., etc. And as time goes by and as the opportunities change and society evolves, you realize it's actually not about Don, but it's the opportunities that he gave Peggy and what's that other girl, Joan. And it's really about mad women who are, you know, actually the center of that story. So a part of me feels almost like it's a bit like that. There's a that feeling na parang this troubled man gave way to these amazing women.
Yeah. So they should have called it, I don't know, Hamilton Women.
Little Hamilton women.
Okay, so also ako rin, I think in terms of theme rin, I was gonna say like parang not everyone had an arc. Ako, the mere fact niya na the other characters like nawala diba? Like si Lafayette.
Yeah.
Did he die?
No, he moved back to France.
Who's the one who died?
Anong name niya? The guy who also played his son.
Yeah. Yeah, and what can you say about that? Ano yung tingin yung theme for the other characters? Like, what was their arc? Or was there any character that had a notable arc except for Eliza?
Aaron Burr.
Kay Burr. Kay Burr, parang hindi ba parang it was so...
Alam mo na from the start? Because he says so.
Parang it was so... Nothing changed. Di ba?
Parang he just served as a narrative device, don't you think? Because even as they said, it was sort of Lin took liberty with his character. Parang they didn't really interact that much all throughout the years, but he was sort of a good counterpoint to what to the counterpoint to Alexander. Parang just smile more, talk less. He's that kind of guy, but ultimately wants to be a big shot, wants to be powerful, but doesn't have the balls to go against.
Meron naman pala.
Yeah.
Okay. So we now go to music.
Love. I think most of the songs were inspired by existing songs, no? Am I, ano? Wait, Jim's just gonna go to the bathroom. Yeah. What about you, Ate Mia? Did you hear any reference?
I thought that it was nice because you could really hear the difference in genres.
Yeah,
Parang, like, for example, that Helpless sounds like a 90s love song. Yeah, parang it's like parang what I know, parang like what Beyonce did with Love on Top. Like it was just like one of those things na very like really 90s or late 80s.
Was it Helpless na may Destiny's Child vibes? Yung may as in it's literally yung nga, it was what song is that by Destiny's Child? Ladies, if you... Oh, it's Beyonce pala.
Houston Rocket.
Yeah. That one. Yeah,
I think that was
He really got that from Beyonce. And then there's the other one, yung I am not giving away my shot. I am not throwing away my shot. There's a part there that's obviously when he does the ALEXANDE. That was a shout out to Notorious B.I.G. because he has the NOTO.
Oh,
So,
Parang,
that's amazing.
And ang ano, Timia, dun sa aside from the hip hop, what I loved is, diba, there was like ano yung reference dun sa mala, I don't know, sorry for the ano, parang very Disney musical yung you ano yun?
yeah, I think yung Helpless ba yun?
I'm helpless.
To me, I was saying that it was kind of like a parang 90s song.
Oh, okay, sorry.
A 90s R&B girl group kind of song. But it was interesting. Did you notice also for the King's songs, they sounded like all your kind of traditional musical theater types of You'll Be Back. I think that was, I'm not sure if that was his intention. Parang this is the old world. And then that's why it's very old world genre.
Actually, what do you call ba sa musical yung laging bumabalik? Yung laging like you're in song 10 and
I
then
love
babalik na
that.
naman sa Alexander Hamilton. What do you call, is that a callback? What do you call that?
I'm not
I
sure.
think it may be a callback.
Callback ba? Kasi sa stand-up ganun, di ba?
Oh.
But say if you sing like a shorter version of that song, but then the song has changed meaning as the plot
Yes.
evolved,
Yeah.
it's a reprise.
Reprise.
Ayun.
Yun. And what was the reprise of Hamilton ba? Was it ano yung umulit-ulit? Yung blow away? Ano yun?
Throw away my shot.
Hindi, throw away the shot.
Hindi, they'll blow you all the way. Yung I love that song. The one for the, Theodosia.
Blow them all away.
Yeah, I love that.
Oh.
I told Saab though, wasn't it a bit Akon-ish?
Nakakainis. Sabi ko, how dare you?
Di ba?
Ano pa yung kanta ni Akon?
I blow them all away.
Damn all you beautiful girls. Big, ano pala yung pangalan niya? Hindi pala si Akon yun. Big Sean? King Sean? Sean King?
Sean King.
Kingston! Sean King.
So, how about rap-wise, Sam? Since you are the hip-hop correspondent, ano yung napansin mo iba't ibang style?
I think, parang, you could hear a lot of Kanye in it, huh? Did you?
Kay sino?
Well,
Parang gusto ko sana per character scene, like Burr had a certain style.
Burr sounded to me like Lil Wayne.
Lil Wayne.
Right? His voice mismo.
Yeah.
I think actually in the storytelling rin, parang there's a lot of my old school hip-hop. And when I read up on it, Lin-Manuel actually thought of it na to represent how old school their way of thinking is, and parang how Alexander Hamilton was the future.
What was Hamilton? Ano yung vibe? Anong style ba
Hindi ko
niya?
alam. Because for me, ewan ko, parang medyo, ewan ko. But I heard those,
George Washington, what was his style? Di ba parang may kinoment ka na parang he was so his flow
mas
was
mabagal yung kanya.
his flow was
I
slow
love-
and it was parang by the bar. Walang kuwari yung kay tama, parang si Kanye si Hamilton eh. Like kuwari yung Scotsman Internet apagain. Yung pinapasok niya sa
But that wasn't Hamilton.
that wasn't ba?
No.
Who was that?
That
That was Burr.
Yeah, that was Burr.
Oh, mali-mali naman itong mga comparison to. Anyway.
But actually, ako nga, it's not just like, Yung ano, I am not thrown away, ma. Shot for me, that was obviously, give it away, give it away, give it away now. Give it away, give it away,
No,
give it
no,
away
no.
now.
Yeah.
Diba?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your jams at me.
My jams.
I know. Hold on. Just give me 5 minutes.
To Google.
5 minutes to Google some of these references.
No, but it's really, actually, hindi ko pa nababasa. I wanted to see what rappers thought of the musical.
Yeah.
Pero ang galing. Lalo na si Lafayette was so...
Lafayette was good.
I think siya yung may because this whole Hamilton musical broke a record, diba, in most words per minute or something.
Really?
Yeah, and
Okay.
it was Lafayette who had the most words per second.
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
And ano, I don't know. Is this common ba? This is the first musical I think I've ever seen na walang dialogue.
Oo nga.
Well, I think it's more of like an opera, right? Like if you look at the roots of musical theater, traditionally, actually, there shouldn't be a lot of dialogue, and the music. I think this is why I love this type of musical and this is why he's a purist, Lin-Manuel, because his songs actually drive the plot forward. As the song, when he sings, it's not like verses. You watch like Mamma Mia.
Yeah.
I'm feeling sad, and then I'm gonna sing a song now that amplifies that sadness. And it's just like repeating that sadness. Versus him, where every song drives the plot forward and forward and forward, and it's that's why I thought it was like really exciting, and you just want to keep listening to the lyrics because that's how you see the story unfold.
Yeah, that's why nga yun yung sinabi ko kanina, 'di ba, na I'm not used to ano nga, parang I usually tune out a bit, like what, like especially like if hindi ko makuha yung hook or the melody is not connecting with me, medyo parang okay, she's sad, okay, I get it. But ito was like, yun nga, it was driving the story.
I really, really loved it. I
can watch it again.
Yeah, we're
now.
watching it again with sila Nungki. Because
Oo nga
Nungki,
pala.
so just for the pod kids, we have a lot of requests for Nungki to come back on the pod. We have a few episodes with her, no, Jim?
Yeah.
You guys can listen to that. Nungki has been a Hamilton stan for longer than any of us. Kaya alam ko tong mga Skylar sisters kasi she was making me watch these videos of yung mga animated videos with the songs. Tapos parang ako nga, when she made me watch it, tapos may mga ano, diba? May mga, the sister loves well, you guys have seen the musical, but so parang I was a little, whoa, is this age appropriate? But yeah, we're gonna rewatch it with Nungki and your parents, Jim.
Yeah. Timia, you're frozen. Just like the musical.
There is a Frozen musical, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, while Atimia is frozen, can we talk about
What?
perfect time for an ad.
Okay. Go ahead as I do my research.
So on www.linyalinea.ph, we have a bunch of new designs. We just released the Eraserheads design. We have a bunch of face masks, and thank you for all the support because we've been restocking, and per launch day they have been selling out. So again, if you guys listen to this podcast, you know that you have a promo code, which is what?
Jim and Saab?
Yun ba?
Di ko alam.
Or Wake Up with Jim and Sab?
Wait, hanapin ko.
Shit, sorry. We want to say that. And also, I'm going to have a new episode on Finding Happy
It's
with
Jim
Happy Dad.
Saab.
Jim Sab. Okay.
Jim Saab.
Jim Sab. And then on Finding Happy with Happy Dad, I have a new episode. I answer another malibag, and the letter sender is asking for help on starting a business when you don't know shit about running or starting a business. So it's yun nga sabi, I mean, I think the solo pods, ang challenge ko na nga sarili ko na I am not going to edit. Pero game, fight pa rin.